Hey everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle with the Undead Legion rules. I don't have any VC in this particular army that I'm fielding, but we did use the Undead Legion rules. So like the Larva Death is in here. My opponent who's playing VC, he's got some Tomb King stuff in his list. Just things like that, no crumble, all the good stuff, and just figured you would want to know. But it's me, Lord Tremendous of the Tomb Kings, versus Count Necksucker of the Vampire Counts. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how bad my dice screw me in this one.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and I have made some changes. I have a Tomb King still, Bone Load Tremendous. He now has a mount. I put him in a War Sphinx with Fiery Breath because I got that new model with Archon, or I think that's his name anyway. I don't know, Archon, the big Tomb King wizard guy and the cool dragon. Well, obviously I'm not using the special character, but I am using that particular model to represent him. He's on a chariot base. It's a cool model. I want to use it. I've Tomb Kinged it up slightly. So yeah, I like it. So I put my Tomb King on a War Sphinx, and I gave the War Sphinx Fiery Breath. My Tomb King has the Sword of Might, Armor of Destiny, Dragonbane Gem, and other Trickster Shard. He also has a shield because, well, a 3-up is better than a 2, or better than a 4-up. So yeah, I gave him the Sword of Might because Strength 6. I gave him the Armor of Destiny because 4-up board save and heavy armor. I gave him a Dragonbane Gem because this guy's doused in kerosene. And I gave him the other Trickster Shard so that when I wound you, it sticks. My hero choices are a Tomb Prince, Dark Vincent. He's got a great weapon, armor of silvered steel, and the Luck Stone. He's my generic character to throw into into my unit of skeleton warriors. Basically, Dark Vincent now takes the position of my old Lord Tremendous on foot. I give him a great weapon for strength 6, armor of silvered steel, so he sticks around, and a Luck Stone, so he really sticks around. Next up, I have a Lich Priest. I have 3 Lich Priests actually. All level 2, and I did this because I wanted another channel and I wanted to try it. I wanted to see how 3 level 2s instead of a level 4 and a level 2 would work. Same amount of spells, just a little bit harder to cast them, but I figured with the Hydro Titan maybe it would be easier. It was an idea. I wanted to try it and nobody can stop me. But yes, my first up is Queen Elizabeth. She's a level 2 wizard with Enkil's Canopy and a Lord Nehekara. I wanted that particular item just in case I ran into a rip spell or whatever. Just, I could actually let it go and then maybe stop it in my next magic phase and get some dice for it. So, it might be cool. Next up, I have the Lich Priest, Sinister Jeffrey, who's a level 2 wizard with the Dispel Scroll, and he now uses the Lore of Nehekara, making sure that I have 4 of the spells instead of just 2. And last but not least is my third Lich Priest, Tartan the Jaded, level 2 wizard with the Lore Light. He's naked because I ran out of points. Also naked is my Necrotech, the Architect. He's in with the skeletons and give him Hatred because Hatred is worth its weight in gold. My core choices are still the same: 58 skeleton warriors with full command light armor shields, 14 skeleton archers with full command, and 3 skeleton chariots with banner musician and banner eternal flame. My special choices are a Chimerian War Sphinx with fire breath. That's right, I have 2. One's a mount, one's just awesome. I have my 3 Medusa Stalkers, and my rare choices are my Hydro Titan, the Protector, the Screaming Skull Catapult, and my Casket of Souls. I do not have my opponent's list, because I forgot. Here are my spells, which consist of, well, you can see them on the top left there, I believe, is Tartan the Jaded. Top right is Queen Elizabeth. Bottom right is Sinister Jeffrey, and Spirit Leech spell comes with the Hydro Titan. He's also got Shem's Burning Gaze. I forgot. Here's deployment, and as you can see, I just kind of squared off against my opponent. He has a really small list. A lot of his points are in characters. He's got a Vampire Lord, he's got Manfred, the actual Manfred. So, yeah, from the new, End is Nigh type of deal. So, yeah, he's got a very small list. Or, I'm sorry, small list. Small army. He's got a lot of concentrated points. So I went with the surround him approach instead of the bottleneck thing. I just figured, why not? On the left side there, I've got my Tomb King on his War Sphinx, and then I have my War Sphinx right next to him, and they're just watching both avenues. I'm trying to force him down the center, just simply because I think that would be easier. I have my Titan nearby so nothing can slip by and get a hold of my archers or my casket or my catapult just because. I got my Skeleton Warriors with my Necrotech and my, what's it called? Tomb Prince, as well as my level 2 caster with the Laura Light in there in my Skeleton Warriors, just so that my Skeleton, or so that my Lich Priest with the Laura Light actually has line of sight and stuff that he needs. The casket is way in the back because that's where it's safest. The archers are back there as well. And my catapult, I'm kind of using as bait. I want his dogs to get close enough for my chariots to charge or anything so that I can kill it. And I figured giving him a big juicy target like my catapult, if I lose it, not a huge big deal, but if I can use it for bait and get my chariots into him, all the better. Here's my opponent's right flank, and this right here is his Vampire Lord on a Hell Steed, I think it is. The little war beast that can fly, it's cavalry, but look at that conversion. I'm not even trying to like mouth hug this guy, I just really like the conversion. I think it's amazing. I can't wait for him to get done painting it. And here's my opponent's center. From left to right, there's Manfred on his new mount or whatever. I can't remember what they're called, like a Mortark or something like that. But yeah, that model is amazing, and he's painting it really nice as well. And it's dangerous as hell, so yeah, should be an interesting game. Right next to him is a Corpse Cart. Next to that is a unit of skeletons with a Necromancer. I believe it's a level 2 Necromancer there. He's also got a Casket of Souls conversion right next to them, which is very cool. Sorry I don't have a better picture of it, but you can squint. Right there in the middle is a huge unit of ghouls with a vampire, just a regular vampire installed, I believe. And then towards the bottom of the picture there are 2 units of direwolves. And here's his left flank, which consists of just a random Banshee running around screaming at stuff. Here's my right flank, which consists of my chariots. Here's my center, which consists of, from right to left, my catapult, my casket, my archers with high and low Nehekhara Lich Priests installed. In front of them are my Skeleton Warriors with Necrotech Laura Light Lich Priest and my Tomb Prince installed. And next to him is my Hydro Titan, Nad. And here's my left flank, which consists of my War Kitty and my Tomb King on a War Kitty. Here's top of 1 after movement, and I got to go first, which means you won't see a whole lot of movement because I'm Tomb Kings. And I know I can march, if I'm within 12 of my general and stuff like that, but I don't see the purpose. I don't like getting too far away from everything, makes me a little nervous, and there's really no point. He's got to come to me. So I just kind of readjust a little bit. My Tomb King backs up just a little bit. My War Kitty and my Titan, they kind of move a little bit. My Skeleton Warriors come up because I want them in combat as soon as possible. The archers follow suit just to stay in range. Everything else pretty much stays still because, you know, yeah. My magic phase is a waste. I think I roll like a 3 for my magic dice. Now, don't get me wrong. My dice so far, granted it's top of 1, but with rolling spells and everything else, I've been rolling pretty average. So the fact that I rolled low for my magic phase, I'm not counting against my dice right now. I have gotten rid of my old dice, and I'm using the Lord Tremendous dice that I bought for sale. So I've got a bunch of those I'm using right now, and they're working pretty well. So maybe my old dice were screwing me over so that I would use the custom dice that I built, or that I made, or had made for me anyway. So we'll see. But yeah, my magic phase is just dispelled. He scrolls it, which hurt my feelings a little bit, but it is what it is. So we go ahead and go into shooting, and my archers have shots at the direwolves, and after all is said and done, I'm able to kill 2, but don't worry, they don't panic. So we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and my opponent moves a lot more than I do. As you can see on the left flank there, his Vampire Lord on the Hellsteed, I think that's what it is, comes running over to the left flank, daring me to charge it. His direwolves run up to block my Skeleton Warriors. His other direwolves just kind of sit back and try to figure something out. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. They tried to charge my catapult and failed. Everything else in the center pretty much moves up except for the casket, and the Banshee moves up as fast as it can because he realized that he kind of deployed her poorly. Not a big deal. You know, mistakes happen. Here's a better picture of the failed charge at my casket, which I'm kind of glad he missed that one. During his magic phase, he gets off one of the Lore of Undeath spell that lets you raise infantry, and he puts 10 Skeleton Warriors in front of my casket because Manfred gets to like double or triple the range of the spell or something crazy like that. So yeah, I've got a unit of 10 Skeleton Archers breathing down the neck of my catapult. They are just outside of the arc, the forward arc of my chariot. So yeah, my bait was taken, just not in the way I was hoping it would be. So that sucks. And then I tried to stop it. He rolled 2 dice and he rolled an 11 plus 4. Plus he had the corpse cart right there. Yeah, it was insane. And so he's able to get a unit of Hex Race out for free. And he even burned his little token. So now he's got the unit champion in there as well. Oh, couldn't believe it. So yeah, now he's got a unit of ethereals sitting around the damn table, and I'm like, oh no, and it's like right in my lines. If I don't deal with him next turn, I'm screwed. It was an irresistible force, however, and he miscasted 6. Which, after all was said and done, he does put a wound on the 10 wound model that is Manfred in this new version, but hey, he's a 10th dead, and I'll take it. And yeah, sorry I said he rolled an 11, he rolled a 12. I knew it was really high, but it was insane. What can you do? So we go over here to top of 2 after movement, because his shooting phase doesn't exist, and I panic a little bit. My Tomb King on the War Kitty goes into his Vampire Lord on the Hellsteed because I figured charging is better waiting for him to charge. The other War Kitty goes into the Dire Wolves. I don't really know why I did that. I should have left them right where they were, but I didn't, so you'll have to excuse my stupidity. My chariots, we measure and everything, we get the arcs out, and I am literally, my opponent plays those skeleton warriors perfectly, and they are literally just outside my arc. I could not believe it, and I didn't want to charge his hex rays, because yeah, charge and a banner would have been nice, but I figured if he rolled average and killed, or did 3 wounds to my chariots, I was epi-screwed there. So I left them right where they are. I figured him charging me would be better than nothing. It gives me another turn. Maybe I could shoot at him with the Hyro Titan. I did move him. Maybe the casket could blow him away. Anything. I was scared. I was so scared. Other than that, everything else just kind of puckers because I know I'm screwed. And my stalkers don't come in. There's a better picture of my Tomb King slamming into the Vampire Lord. And I'm looking forward to this fight. It's the first fight I've had with my Lord with that particular kit on the kitty. So I'm really curious to see how they'll do. And here's a better picture of the other War Kitty in the Dire Wolves, and I'm pretty confident on this one. During the magic phase, I'm able to get Killing Blow off on my Tomb Lord, or my Tomb King, and I did this simply because this guy's cavalry. If I can get some Killing Blows on him, which would be great, it's no armor save. I'm sure he's got a ward save or something like that, but you know what? I'm taking away his armor save, and that's awesome. It was a miscast 8, however.
You must not read from the book!
Which does suck a little bit, but in the end, the only thing to actually take a wound is Tardum the Jaded. He takes the Strength 6 hit to the face, and I do end my my magic phase does end up ending. The words are hard, and yeah, Tardum is bleeding from the ears, which is awesome. It could have been a lot worse. Over here in combat, I'm able to slip 1 wound through on this Vampire Lord. In return, the Vampire Lord is not able to do anything back to me. I armor save everything. His Vampire Lord is a combat lord. He's very fighty. His job is to get into combat and beat the crap out of everything. But I didn't tell my opponent this, but I gotta be honest with you, when I saw this, I love his conversion. The man is gifted. But I thought about it, and I thought about how when I played Warriors of Chaos, I had, 3 up, rerolling 1s, ward save, great weapon, Totem, Laura Zinch, monstrous Cav Ride, and SOB that used to fail me constantly. And all I could think was, I know this Vampire Lord is epidangerous, I know he's super killy, I know he's probably got an amazing armor and ward save. I'm going in. I'm going to try it, because if my past has taught me anything, the superheroes like that, they fall first, and they fall hard. And that's what ended up happening. My opponent, now granted, his dice failed him here. He flubbed pretty spectacularly. He only did 2 wounds to me. I was able to armor save both of them. So that was actually pretty cool. My counterattacks, I'm able to slip 1 wound through on him, which I was happy about. But I charged, and I did a wound. He did nothing. I win by 2. His Vampire Lord only has 3 wounds. Boom. Vampire Lord destroyed. And that's how you exercise the demon, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it. So, first battle ever with my Tomb King on a War Kitty, and he gets into a combat with a worthy foe, a damn good kit and everything. And not only does he end up vanquishing his foe on the charge without hesitation, but he does it without getting a scratch on him. And he looks cool doing it. And that killing blow didn't even come into effect. So I know, I'm a huge jerk, but I'm excited. I was happy that this kit worked out because I really like the model. I don't know if you've ever watched a battle report of mine before, but if you haven't, I like monsters. So yeah. Then over here, the other War Kitty does his job beautifully and thunder smashes the entire unit of dogs, so that's kind of nice. Not the little crazy template thing that he can do. He just his attacks and the guys inside their attacks. The dogs all died, and then I turned to face the ghouls, who I realize at this point are way too close now, which is silly of me. So we go to bottom of 2, and yes, the ghouls make their charge into the War Kitty no problem, which embarrasses me to death. And then Manfred charges my Tomb King. So I was looking forward to that fight too, I won't lie to you. That was going to be fun. His unit of 3 direwolves slam into my skeleton warriors because his other unit of skeleton warriors slam into my catapult, well, because, and his unit of hex rays slam into my chariots, and they're just screwed. What can you do? What can you do? There's a better picture of Manfred slamming into my Tomb King, and this fight goes terrible for my opponent. I know I should have taken more pictures, but I got to be honest with you, I am going to miss some pictures because with Tomb Kings, I really have to think forward a lot, and so I forget to snap some pictures sometimes, and I apologize. But here's the picture in combat. His magic phase doesn't really do anything. I'm able to dispel it for the most part. I burn my dispel scroll and such. But we go into combat over here, and Manfred flubs. I actually make my ward saves, and it turns out, even though Manfred's really, really strong, and well, he's only strength 5, but he's got a high toughness because it's combined profile and everything. Manfred can be beaten down pretty easy by strength 6. It goes right through his armor. He has no ward. So yeah, my Tomb King was able to actually do some damage to him. And although Manfred and his little mount were directing all their attacks at my Tomb King, only one slipped through. In turn, after all was said and done, Manfred ends up taking 5 wounds total through combat and combat resolution. So he's sitting at 6 wounds on him. He's got 4 left because, you know, the combined profile mounts have a ton of wounds now. But yeah, pretty much anything else of that caliber that wasn't a combined profile, my Tomb King and War Sphinx would have just taken out. And instead, this thing has 6 wounds on it now. I'm feeling really good about this kit, guys. I gotta be honest with you. I'm rolling very average, which I'm happy about. Okay, I'm bipolar rolling right now. So my dice are actually back on my team, which is kind of nice. It's good to have this happen. But fights like this with my Tomb King on the War Sphinx, I didn't expect it to go quite this well, and it really is. And so I'm encouraged. I'm highly encouraged. Then over here, my War Sphinx, he rolls average. I'm able to kill a handful of ghouls, and unfortunately, with the amount of attacks they got on him, a lot of poison gets through. I don't make enough 5-up ward saves, and to be honest with you, I think before I'm able to do anything with the War Kitty, I just get killed. I think he does like 5 wounds to me just through poison and regular wounds alone. And my War Kitty dies, and that was my fault. That unit was perfect for dealing with the War Sphinx, and I should have seen that before I charged the Direwolves, and I didn't, and that was stupid. And will I do it again? Yeah, probably. But hopefully this will remind me not to do stuff like that again, because I hate losing my War Kitty. Of course, his ghouls overrun after killing the kitty and nudge into my skeleton warriors and, of course, slam into him and close the door. So now we're looking at this fight, and that's going to be a son of a gun. Over here, my casket crew give it up sweet. They do nothing. They just get mutilated because, well, you know, they're casket crew. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold. In this game, they were cold. So what can you do? It's 90 points. And then over here, his Hex Race completely flub. Obviously, my chariots hit and wound 12 times. It's glorious. They make their ethereal checks, and so they're fine. I'm kidding. I know there's no ethereal checks. I'm being sarcastic. No, he flubs his rolls spectacularly, and with his charge to my banner, we're tied. I have Musician. A Hexwraith explodes. So that's awesome. It'd be even better if this unit was worth points, but unfortunately, I think my chariots are just buying me time, and that's why I love my chariots. They do well. Over here in combat, my skeleton warriors, my necrotech gets targeted immediately and mutilated. My opponent does not hesitate. He beats the crap out of my poor necrotech. It's sad. He issues a challenge with his vampire guy, and my unit champion accepts it, and my unit champion gets turned into bone meal, which is kind of rude. But he attacks, he sends like 9 or 10 attacks at my Lich Priest and flubs. And so my Lich Priest actually survives. He throws 1 or 2 at my Tomb Prince, and they bounce off his armor. And then, yeah, like a handful of my Skeleton Warriors, take some wounds. But I make a lot of my armor saves and parry saves, which was shocking. And in return, I'm able to kill a decent amount of ghouls. I actually win this combat. I also kill a bunch of the... I kill the direwolves off completely. So they all die, and a bunch of the ghouls fall apart. It's I think I win by 2 or 3, and that's spectacular. These skeleton warriors, I like them. I like them. They're gonna have to get some paint soon. So with all that said and done, we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and now I'm still not in a great place. My stalkers come on the table, and they're gonna go try to deal with that casket for me. My Titan moves up to get either a flank charge on the ghouls or to flank charge the skeleton warriors and the necromancer if they're foolish enough to come forward. Also to give me an angle on that banshee that's quickly coming up my flank. Other than that, my archers try to swift reform to shoot at the skeleton warriors that are getting ready to charge my casket. And I fail my swift reform. Yeah, I know. You're within 18 inches of your character. You had leadership 10. Yeah, rolled boxcars. Wasted the good roll, right? Oh, that sucked. But it is what it is. So they turn to face and fail their swift reform, so they ain't shooting. And I do have my Queen Elizabeth leave the unit just in case the what's it called? The skeleton warriors charge my archers. I didn't want them killing all of my casters. Made me a little nervous, and so I took Queen Elizabeth and moved her out. I should have moved the other Lich Priest out as well. I just couldn't figure out where to put him, and that's my fault. That was really stupid. But that was the decision that I made, and so I did it. During the magic phase, I get Curse Blades off on my Skeleton Warriors, and I pretty much heal the unit, which is awesome. And I give him Killing Blow, which is also awesome. So I'm hoping that those two things really help me push my victory, or push my combat res over here, and I can either slaughter all these ghouls or, at least hold on a little bit longer, whichever. Unfortunately, it's another Irresistible Force, and it's another miscast 8.
No! You must not read from the book!
Which actually does not bode great for me. Yeah, Tardum takes another wound and dies. Which is sad. That poor guy, both miscasts. I think Zinch was just out to get him. And he did. He ripped his friggin' head off and pooped down his neck. Oh well, poor guy. Then over here, we go into combat, and Manfred and his little general Manfred and his mount do a lot better. They actually kill my Tomb King, which sucks. But the mount is still up there, and he's beating the crap out of him. I still end up winning this combat, and Manfred is now taking 2 more wounds. I might not have won this combat. I can't remember. No, I won this combat somehow, one way or another. Something happens, I win, and we're fine. So it's 8 wounds now on his guy. So I'm hoping either. Gosh, I might have lost this combat by 1. Which would have been fine because I'm an arcane construct, so my kitty would have been fine. But yeah, he's still in this fight, and Manfred's got 2 wounds left. Kitty's got 5. It's still looking good. It was just some bad rolling on my part and some great rolling on my opponent's part. But I'm still feeling good about the kit. I love that the kitty's still there, and I love that you're not getting any points for my Tomb King being dead because the War Sphinx is still alive. Then over here in this combat, oh my goodness, these warriors. Oh! Ultra Warriors. Now that all the riffraff is gone, they mow through this unit. I Killing Blow his Vampire Lord. I beat the tar out of the ghouls. I lose 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I lose 8 skeletons total, but he loses a ton more ghouls than that. I want to say like 13 or 14. With combat res and everything like that, I end up killing all but like I think there's like 13 ghouls left, and that's glorious. Just glorious. Then over here in combat, his Hex Rays figure out where the X button is and beat the crap out of my chariots. After all is said and done, I've got like a 1 wound chariot left. And so it's like, well, I mean, I really did get lucky on that first shot where they flubbed, and that was it. I had no hope of saving these guys. The fact that they're holding on as long as they have attests just how awesome they are. So it is what it is. I have no complaints about this one. So we go here to bottom of 3 after movement, and his Skeleton Warriors charge my casket and make it no problem. Other than that, his Banshee moves up a little bit, his Skeleton Warriors, his Corpse Cart. His Necromancer comes out of the Skeleton Warriors to try to heal Manfred some so that his general sticks around a little bit longer. And his Corpse Cart and everything like that pretty much stays put. It moves up slightly, but it's like 4 inches, so it's hardly noticeable. And if you're wondering why the Corpse Cart is still there, I'll tell ya. I forgot to Care Bear stare with my Stalkers last turn. Yeah. So worried about magic and combat, completely forgot about shooting. Completely my fault. But yeah. Just for you guys being astute at home, that's what happened there. There's a better picture of his warriors slamming into my casket, and I'm nervous about that. During his magic phase, he uses Manfred to raise a unit of skeleton archers, Tomb King archers, and they're facing my last remaining Lich Priest. So, damn. Well, not my last remaining, but my my Lich Priest that's out all by himself. I'm like, oh, genius, sucks. And then I stop some of his other spells, and I have to let this one go through, and he raises a White King, or whatever it is, right in front of my Stalkers. Basically, he thought I was going to charge him. It's like, no, I'm going to Care Bear stare this thing to death, but now that slows me down even more. Oh, I wish I had remembered the shoot last turn. But, yeah, very intelligent play by my opponent. During his shooting phase, my opponent kills Queen Elizabeth. Genius. You know what? Say what you will, my opponent is really good at this game, and he's proving it by beating the tar out of me with units that don't cost anything. And then over here in combat, yeah, he's able to finish off the chariot. He slips the last wound through. It dies a horrible death. And you know what? The chariots were kind of just dealt a bum hand here. What can you do? Over here, though, my casket, yeah, they decided they weren't going to die today. It's a war machine, so he attacks 6 times. I think he hits once, fails to wound. I attack back. I kill, like, I don't even remember. I think like 4 guys or something like that. He loses his combat, and in the end, I don't remember exactly what the math was, but yeah, he's got 5 guys left. That's it. And my casket's okay, so awesome. They might actually pull this one off. Then over here in combat, the skeletons go, that's enough of these ghouls. I do lose a decent amount, but after combat res and everything else like that, my skeleton warriors finish off the ghouls, and that is a ton of points. So I'm feeling really good about that. Love the skeleton warriors. I do lose my Tomb Prince because, hey, you know what? Even I can fail a 2-up armor save. What can you do? But yeah, my Tomb Prince dies, and that's sad. But I keep the rest of the stuff, so that's cool. Then over here in combat, we trade wounds. I do 1 to him, he does 1 to me. There's no combat res, or it's a tied to combat res. So Manfred's sitting on 1 wound, and my my War Sphinx has 4 left. So I'm still feeling good about this fight. Oh, so we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and you're looking at it. I try to charge his Necromancer with my Skeleton Warriors, needing like an 8 or a 9, and I fail, which sucks. And my Archers, I should have probably charged them into the flank of the Skeleton Warriors, but... oh, wait, no, I remember I didn't. His Skeleton Warriors are actually down the hill, and they were out of the charge arc of my Archers, so I couldn't do that. So they turn to face the Necromancer and stuff like that, hopefully to shoot him off the table. I know I'm going to get flanked. I'm well aware of that. There's nothing I can do because the stupid Hex Rays are going to come in. They're going to screw me over anyway, so I figured I'd just line up like this and call it a day. Other than that, my Stalkers shift slightly to try to deal with the White King before he can deal with them. And yeah, now I'm just grabbing at straws before I get killed, so yeah. There's been a picture of the failed charge into the Necromancer, which would have which would have been great if he had made it, because I'd have hit him, and then I'd have killed him, and I'd have overrun into the Skeleton Warriors, or the Corpse Cart, or something. It would have been a lot better than what actually happened, so... Oh well, what can you do? Nothing happens in a magic phase, we go into shooting phase, and although I take 2 wounds for my trouble, I am able to kill off his Wraith, or whatever it is, so that's cool, and hopefully next turn... or my next turn, I can, deal with the Corpse Card or the Necromancer or whatever. In combat over here, oh, the War Kitty finishes Manfred off, slips another wound or 2 in, and kills him, and that's awesome. So now I don't have to worry about him raising anything else, from the Undeath lore, but now I gotta deal with everything that's there. So the War Kitty turns to try to go save the archers and my last remaining Lich Priest. Over here in combat, all the awesomeness that my guys had from the, previous round of combat goes away in this one. With 5 attacks, maybe 6, he might have a unit champion, I don't remember. He's able to destroy all 3 of the guards of the casket. The casket explodes, and the only thing to be hurt is my Skeleton Warriors, because, yes! Well, what can you do? Skeleton Warriors, I lose like 4 of them, but it is what it is. So, with all the fun over, we go over here to bottom of 4. And it's happening. The Hexrays and the Skeleton Warriors charge into my Skeleton Warriors, which is fun. His unit of archers and his unit of Skeleton Warriors charge into the flank and rear of my Skeleton Archers, and his Corpse Cart turns to face my Stalkers. His Necromancer runs behind him, and it's not looking good for the home team. There's a better picture of his archers and his Skeleton Warriors. Both summon units charging into my Skeleton Archers, because yay. And here's a better picture of his Hexrays and his Skeleton Warriors slamming into my Skeleton Warriors, which, again, the Hexrays are a summoned unit. During his magic phase, he gets Mystifying Miasma off on my Skeleton Warriors, lowering their initiative to 1, which is fine. And then, just, I think, more out of spite than anything else, he gets Curse of Years off on my Skeleton Warriors and kills like 7 of them, which hurts. Over here in combat, it's pretty ugly. My archers get beat down pretty bad. I do nothing back. Nothing. I'm down to 4 skeleton archers and my Lich Priest, and that's not good. My Lich Priest is also carrying a wound because they directed some attacks on him, which was smart. Over here in combat, my skeletons are trying to put up a good fight. They actually do pretty well. His Hexrays flub once again. I lose this count. I kill like 4 or 5 of his Skeleton Warriors, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. He kills a bunch more of mine, but I have the models to deal with it. So yeah, I lost this combat, I believe, but it is what it is. I did try to reform, and I failed my leadership check. So what can you do? So we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and there's a little bit. My War Sphinx, Lord Tremendous' mount, although Tremendous is dead, the War Kitty charges into the rear of the archers, and that's just a desperate, attempt to save my archers, which I give 70-30 against. My Stalkers move up so that they can either Care Bear Stare the Chariot or the Necromancer, whichever is alive. The Hydro Titan turns to try to Shem's Burning Gaze the Necromancer off the table so that my opponent stops having a magic phase, and it's a way to dispel Curse of Years. And that's pretty much it. During the magic phase, the Necromancer get laser-eyed right off the table. Shem's Burning Gaze blows him away, and I love that damn spell. And then we go over into the shooting phase, and yeah, I take that Corpse Cart right off the table. I ended up doing like 8 wounds to it, and he saved 4. So the Corpse Cart explodes, which is awesome. Over here in combat, my Lich Priest does end up getting killed. He directed enough attacks at him, killed off my Lich Priest. He killed 1 more skeleton. I'm able to kill 4 or 5 of the skeleton archers, I think 4. And I actually take a wound on my War Sphinx, which is a little embarrassing. I think in the end, with charge in a rear and 4 wounds to like 3 wounds in a rear and a flank, I have a banner. I don't remember exactly what happens, but here's what it looks like after the combat's over. So, at least you can see what happened. It's going okay. There's a slight chance I can save my archers. Then over here in combat, I was able to get +1 attack off on my skeleton warriors and bring a few back last turn, which was great. It actually does help. My skeleton warriors do fight a little bit harder here. I kill a lot of his skeleton warriors. I lose this combat again, but I think it's only like by 1 or 2, which is fine. I do try to reform yet again, and I fail my leadership yet again. So what can you do? So we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement. And there's really none. Everything he has is dead or in combat. During the magic phase, he's able to get the casket off on my stalkers, and I fail it by 1. So not a big, huge deal there. I lose 1. I take 1 wound, 1 stalker dies, and I can live with that. Then over here in combat, his skeleton archers are destroyed. He kills 1 more of my archers. After combat res and everything like that, he's got 2 skeleton warriors left, and my war kitty turns to face them in the vain hope that he could possibly save my archers before they get killed next turn. Then over here in combat, once again, my skeleton warriors do really well. I'm able to hold off the inevitable. I'm able to bring down his skeleton warrior unit pretty low. I once again try to reform afterwards, and I actually succeed. I think I rolled like a 3, which was excellent. So I reform, I got a rank, kind of. I'm hoping against hope that I'm able to survive this, and yeah, we go over here to top of 6. It's going quicker now because we're really down. My stalkers move up a little bit. They're just kind of hoping to get a hold of the Hex Race or the Skeleton Warriors, you know, but I should have probably charged, but I didn't. My War Kitty charges into the flank of the Skeleton Warriors. I'm probably not going to be able to save my archers, but in the off chance that he flubs, I can save them. That would be great. And my Higher Titan charges into the flank of the Skeleton Warriors, hoping to finish off the Skeleton Warriors and combat res the Hex Race to death. That's the hope. During the combat phase, I'm able to not only save my 1 remaining skeleton archer with banner, so he doesn't get any points for the unit, but I'm able to finish off that summon unit. So I don't get any points for that either, but hey, you know what? It's something. It's the minor victories. And then over here, I don't know what the hell happened here. My dice just completely turned on me, and my opponent's dice just kicked into overdrive. My Higher Titan does nothing. Not a damn thing. Not with attacks or with stomps. It's embarrassing. My Skeleton Warriors do damn near nothing. And in the end, I ended up losing by 5. The only reason the Titan is still alive is because he's an arcane construct. Took 4 wounds. And all my skeleton warriors get killed. It really sucks, but I gotta be honest, I'm not faulting anything. It was just, it's a dice game, you know, and my dice have been rolling pretty average, actually, which is all I ever asked of them. I rolled a little low here, but I rolled high elsewhere, so, you know, it's actually going a lot better than I expected it to. So the fact that this happened, hey, I had Hex Race in their flank, I had Skeletons in their front. Yeah, the Higher Titan came in, but you know, he was a little tired. So what can you do? So yeah, I lose the Skeleton Warriors, and my Higher Titan is falling apart. So we go over here to bottom of 6 after movement, and you're looking at it. His Hex Race charge into the flank of the War Kitty, and it's like, oh, poo. And we didn't check or anything like that, but yeah, he gets right into the flank. And the Skeleton Warriors turn to face the Higher Titan. They did that last turn after combat. He rolled it and made it no problem. Actually, he won combat, so he just turned to face. So yeah, that's what it's looking like right now. It's not looking sexy. And we do the combat over here, or I'm sorry, there's a better picture of his Skeleton Warriors turning to face me like that. It was just, that's what happened after combat last turn. He didn't charge me or nothing. And there's a better picture right here of his Hex Race slamming into the War Sphinx, which sucks. We go straight into combat, and yeah, he's able to hit and wound once, charge, flank, wound, to nothing because the War Sphinx can't hurt him. He wins by 3. I take 2 more because I'm a construct. He only had 2 wounds left. The War Kitty dies, and he gets full points for my general. Oh, so well played by my opponent. Oh, makes me sick. And then over here, once again, the Higher Titan whiffs, but so does he. He's got nothing. I've got nothing. I think he's got a musician in there or something like that. He wins by 1. The Higher Titan doesn't take the wound, and there's the end of the game. As you can see, it was a knockdown, drag-out fight. Really, the only things my opponent has left is his Skeleton Warriors and his Casket of Souls. The Hex Rays count for nothing because they were a summoned unit. I have my Archers, my Titan, and my Stalkers. What a brutal, brutal game. Great game, but a brutal game nonetheless. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in a minute because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Look at the banners. You are never going to be able to get better banners than this. There is no company, there is no talent scout, there is no entity on the planet that's going to get you banners better than this. Custom banners for your custom army. You want better paint scores. You want that little edge that makes your army better than the guy next to you. Sick of running, going to tournaments and getting that paint score that's just a few points lower than the guy that literally sneezes on his army. And you can't figure out why? Get these banners and make your army really pop, really stand out. Send this guy an email, tell him what you want, and get yourself some banners. It's totally worth it. Alright guys and gals, there it is. Token Gal is back, and she's back in full operation mode of making tokens. So if you missed out before she went and got married and became Mrs. Token Gal, or however that works, this is your chance. Get your tokens now. Send her an email. Send her your monies. Get yourself some tokens. They're dirt cheap, solid gold quality. You're not going to be disappointed. Tell her Tremendous sent you. She'll probably know. But yeah, get these tokens. They're so much better than just using dice. They're so much easier to remember everything. You don't have to worry about your cards getting lost, stolen, ripped, torn, whatever. And, they're glass beads, cool high-def pictures. Totally worth it. Get yourself some tokens. You won't regret it. And Unleashed Wargaming's painting services is back, guys. I took it down for a little bit while I redid the ad and added some of his newer pictures, but as you can see, he does amazing work. He's based out of the US. He does solid, quality work to all armies. I mean, you saw the pictures. You've seen the quality. You've seen the vibrant colors and the attention to detail and everything. I mean, that banner is free-handed. I mean, how are you not going to like something like that? So if you're like me, and you hate painting, but you don't have an awesome wife to do all your painting for you, give this guy an email, talk to him about what you need, and he's going to knock it out for you. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be embarrassed when you play your army at, your local store, at GTs, or local GTs at your store, or however the heck you want to play. You'll have a painted army. It's going to be a beautifully painted army to your specifications. How can you go wrong? Send him an email, get your army painted, and quit embarrassing yourself. Tell him Tremendous sent you.
You'll find more cheer in a graveyard.
So, I gotta be honest with you, when we first finished this game, I thought my opponent had it when he got my Sphinx, and in the end, no! I pulled it off barely, kinda. Didn't feel like a victory, but it was, technically. I won by 138 points. It was 2,330 for me to 2,192 for him. Difference of 138 points. It was almost a draw. So it was a victory, which is nice. After a 4-game losing streak, it's nice to get any kind of a victory. But I prefer my victories as emotional landslides, No, this is a great game. So back and forth. So back and forth. And neither of us were rolling overly good, but neither of us were rolling overly bad. Just a great game. Just a really good game. I ended up losing my Tomb King, all my Liches, my Prince, my Necrotech, my Skeleton Warriors, my Chariots, my War Sphinx, my Casket, and my Catapult. And my opponent ended up losing Manfred, his Vampire Lord, his Necromancer, his Little Vampire, both units of his Direwolves, his Ghouls, his Corpse Cart, and a Banshee. And that's not including all these summoned units that he lost. But what a fight! Oh my god, some of the moves my opponent made were just genius, just tactical brilliance. If his dice had just rolled a little bit hotter, this game would have been a lot more one-sided. I'm just happy that my dice rolled average, though. You know, that was a hell of a fight. My skeleton warriors standing their ground, mowing through a unit of dire wolves. Well, 3 dire wolves, mowing through a vampire caster, as well as a whole unit of ghouls, and holding their own against another unit of skeleton warriors with a unit of hex race in their flank. Just beast, just really beast. Very proud. My Tomb Lord and the War Kitty. Holy crap! Holy crap! That unit is almost too good. I might have to put 2 in the damn list. I haven't decided yet. My stalkers are earning their keep. I wish I had remembered to shoot with them when they first came on the table. That corpse cart would have been out of the way a lot sooner. And the skeleton warriors, like I said, selling their lives at a high cost, took out all that stuff. Just great. My dice were all over the place, but so were my opponents. You know, they were very bipolar. But for the most part, overall, they rolled average. I'm much happier with the way the dice are rolling now, so I'm not going to complain. That was great. And I'm still tinkering with the list. I'd like to maybe add some more wet undead to the list. I'd love to try out some Vargeist and stuff like that, but I'd also like to try out some Spirit Host. So I'm bouncing some ideas around and stuff like that. I think I'm going to keep the Tomb King and the War Sphinx for the immediate future. I really like that. But I might try a few more things with the list. This probably isn't the final version or anything like that. But you know what? This was a damn good game. This is a damn lucky minor win. Very, very minor win for me. And this is a phenomenal game played by my opponent. The only thing that really gave it to me was some luck and some better dice rolls at the right time. But I really can't wait for the damn rematch. That should be a lot of fun. It should be interesting to see what he does with his list, too. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Number 164 is now in the books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below. But as always, guys, thanks.